Kia ora, Chelsea. Welcome to the Dunedin Stories podcast.
Kia ora, thank you for having me.
It's fabulous to have you here today.
I'm very excited to come and talk to you today.
And you've got the Nest Collective
Yes.
t-shirt on. That's the hat we're wearing today.
Yes,
Fantastic.
wearing my Nest hat today.
Awesome. Well, do you want to let us know what the Nest Collective is and how you got involved, perhaps?
Sure, so I'll start with what Nest is. Nest is a charitable trust that runs throughout New Zealand, so Auckland, Kapiti, Gisborne, Wellington, Christchurch and Ōtepoti. I got into this by accident, like most things in my life where I say yes. I volunteered to do some marketing for them. That's my day job, and I wanted to help and use my skills in a way that benefited the community. And as that evolved, a good friend of mine who co-manages the branch with me, Laura Ramsey, we do the Christmas shoe boxes every year for Catalytic Foundation, and I was talking to her one day and I said, well, hey, you're really good at packing boxes, and rather than just doing this once a year, how about we do this all the time? Wow. So we talked to the head office and we established the branch here, and it will be our second birthday this weekend.
Wow.
So 2 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And quite a need for this type of service?
Yes, I've often described Nest, I think, as the most heartbreakingly heartwarming thing I've done. And I think, it's always something we're grateful to be able to provide for whānau that contact us, I wish we didn't have to exist. So it is always that sort of conflict in your heart when you're doing these things. But the cost of living, I mean, if you've got a mortgage or you've been to the supermarket or bought anything, things are expensive. I think it's now 1 in 4 families are reporting they can struggle to clothe their children, and I think is it 1 in 8 children, or it could be higher, living in material hardship, where their parents are making the choice between electricity or food or, those kind of things.
Isn't it?
It's the reality. So, which is why, as it turns out, we've just expanded our services into Timaru, Southland and the wider Otago as well.
Okay, a few more boxes to pack.
A few more boxes to pack, yeah.
And sort of traditionally, what's in the boxes? What does that look like?
So it's always, I think, a surprise for people when they see a Nest pack. So they're 2 moving boxes. There's over 150 items in there. So the packs were designed with the expert consultation. And they've got the essentials for the first year of life and beyond. So we do clothing from newborn to 18 months, all the bedding, nappies, wipes, thermometers, body wash, plug covers, everything. Yeah. So we pack it all in there.
Some things you probably don't know you need when you've got a newborn until you need it when they're a little bit older as well.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So there's a lot of education in there as well.
Yeah, and we always try to make sure we include early literacy is so important, so we always make sure there's at least 5 books in every pack, and if we can do them in te reo or other languages, then we provide those too.
Wow.
Toys, because it's always nice for every little person to have a special cuddly toy. So huge boxes.
Now, how do people seek referrals? How do they become aware of the Nest Collective? Is it through the midwives or?
Yes, so we have the real people in the community doing the hero work are the people, our community partners. Yeah. So we never meet our families.
Okay.
I've met one Nest baby before, just through circumstance, but we get referrals from midwives, Anglican Family Care, budget advisory services, social workers, all sorts of, maternal mental health providers, anyone who works with, whānau and expecting mothers contacts us, puts through a referral, tells us a little bit about the family, and we make up the boxes, they collect them and they distribute them.
So it's a real trust thing as well, isn't it? There's not a criteria that you have to meet this benchmark. It's like there's a need, and on the whole, we know that they're going to really needy people.
100%. I mean, those community partners are in a much better position than we are to judge the need, and maybe it's financial, maybe it's a mental health thing. It could be all sorts of reasons. It's not our place to decide.
And you find that most people really underestimate the need that they have, or don't believe that they need it as much as somebody else, and it's only when an external person away from that can say, hey, this is something that's available for you. Let's get you one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a lot of people who are too proud or, like you say, too of the opinion that someone else needs it more. Yeah. And I don't think it's a competition or anything like that. I think, you know, if you need something, and I think it takes an enormous amount of courage for those parents and whānau who have contacted us before to do that, you know, to put yourself out there that way.
So it's a nationwide service. Learned something today.
Yeah, there you go.
Thought it was just Ōtepoti, Dunedin.
No.
Funding is incredibly hard at the best of times, and we're in a crazy world with funding being cut from everywhere and a lot more competition. There's a whole lot more need. So how is the Nest Collective funded?
So I'm always blown away. I was talking to someone about this recently, by the generosity of people in Ōtepoti, be that financially or with donations and other support. But we were very lucky last year to be a Beer Fest charity.
Awesome.
So we got to split that with our friends at Fringe and Star Jam, and we've had some very generous grants from the council, and we try and look for creative ways to find funding. So for example, we had a waste minimisation grant, so we try and include a whole lot of pre-loved clothing or pre-loved books, because why waste it? There's so many
especially the books and things.
And they grow out of them so quickly, you know, the clothes, and they always come in beautiful condition because you know, they don't wear them for long.
No, that's right.
So we try and do it that way, which also helps provide, you know, washing powder and things like that for our volunteers who wash all our clothes and all those behind the scenes things that people don't think about. But yes, it is a struggle. I think Catalytic said that 97%, I'll double check it, 97% of all funding goes to the top 11% of charities or something. It's a very slim.
And they tend to have very heavy administration requirements.
Yes.
And things that mean the funding doesn't go to those that really need it.
We try and keep ours very lean. Laura and I don't, you know, draw any wages or anything like that. It's all purely done on a voluntary basis. So we try and keep our costs really low as well, which helps.
Does the national body have national partners, and they're able to say, right, for all of our locations, we will be able to provide these products, or is it solely on you to seek support locally? Yeah,
good question. It's a bit of a mixture. Yeah. So sometimes there has been, and again, that relies solely on the generosity of whether or not businesses can do that. And sometimes they'll do like a bulk discount for purchasing. So our sleep sacks, for example, we still pay for them, but not full retail, which makes a huge difference because they're very expensive. Locally, we've been very lucky. So Periums in Central Otago, for example, all their offcuts from their clothing get turned into hats and merino wraps, and Christina Perium sent us an enormous box of those.
Wow.
And a beautiful letter. So
some of the other regions will be jealous.
Yes, I think so. So I think too with you know, big major centres like Auckland, for example, there's a lot of people in the same space too, which makes that tricky because they've got such a high need, big population. Whereas down here, there's so many people willing to help. But we try and share resources nationally too if we can, you know.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any other organisation locally that's doing what you're talking about. It's lots of side services, if you like, and complementary services. I think Ballyful would be one that springs to mind.
Absolutely,
They do a shout out for us every so often because I've been doing pasta sauce for, I don't know, 11 years
for a long
or something
time
now. But, you know, it's a really easy way to support a charity. And I think when you think about what you're doing, there's probably lots of easy ways for people to play a role.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had you know, an article in the Star, and a little local author who writes children's books sent us a box of her books because you know, she wanted to do that, and it's awesome to be able to include that, or Periums, or you know, we got a great one actually is nappies. So Glenys, who runs our Christchurch branch, got a phone call, and the guy said, I've got some nappies for you, and she said, oh great, I'll put them in my garage. And he'd left a message, so she rang him. She said, oh, yeah, I've got some space in my garage. And the guy cracked up laughing. He goes, no, I don't think you understand. I've got 200 pallets of nappies.
Wow.
Yeah, so when Moopy was purchased by another company, they were
on the stock.
redoing their packaging. Wow. And so we got that distributed across the country and split some of it with another charity in Auckland. So
nice.
We've got a room at our nest full of beautiful Nupi nappies, but it is a hard one to keep it consistent, I think. Yeah.
So if people in the community do want to help you right now to provide things, or, how do they do that? Do they visit you where the nest is located? What do they do?
Yeah, so they can contact us on our Nest Ōtepoti Facebook and Instagram, so they can message us that way. A lot of people do, or they can send us an email or have a look online. There's some contact forms on the website. Yeah. So if they want to do, a few loads of washing, or if they're crafty and they want to help us with some sewing projects, or if they'd like to just come and pack some packs, they're welcome to come and contact us. And even if it's only, if you've got a workplace that wants to do it once and come and help us sort out a whole lot of clothes, then that's cool. We take whatever help we can get. We don't discriminate.
No, that's right. I get
We're grateful for everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you're a Dunedin girl? No, you're not.
No, I'm a cheeky import, but I've been here long enough, I think I can almost get away with it.
Oh, okay. We're going to need to hear the wee story now, Chelsea, please.
Yeah, so I'm from up the road, so I'm from Timaru.
Timbers, that's right.
Yeah. But I've been here for a long time now. Came for uni and never left. Yeah.
City's got a hold of your heart.
It has, yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
I think you still do cheeky trips home quite regularly.
Yeah, I do miss it, going home. But it's home in both places. So we always say we're going home for a weekend and then we're coming home from that. So yeah.
And your main mahi is marketing.
That's right, yep.
Studied at university.
Yes, yep. Spent 4 years there studying design and having a great time and doing my dissertation there and in the child safety space actually. So which was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And fits well with my husband being a early childhood kāko. So then just never left, fell into my marketing role, got a big girl job and here we are.
Yeah. And do you think Dunedin is unique in that way, that you've been able to import yourself and get your degree, and then you've had a couple of pretty awesome roles in really significant companies here in Dunedin? Yeah,
I think so. I think, I've talked to friends who have moved to other big cities and things like that, and I think the thing I love most about Ōtepoti is that it embraces everybody for who they are. It doesn't matter what you're into or anything like that, or, if you're a little bit eccentric or you're this kind of way or whatever. Everyone's just, happy to have you here.
Aren't they?
Yeah. They just want to know your story, want to talk to you. Even this setup, where else are you going to get the opportunity to do that, right?
Yes, some of us are a bit crazy. And
some of us.
What else can we do to help the community?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Oh, funny. So what's next in the sort of the plan for the Nest Collective? Is there a strategy around the future of it? Is it being disrupted in any way? Obviously there's some negative disruption because there is such a growing need.
So put it this way, we've moved, in the 2 years that we've been running, we've moved 3 times.
Wow.
To find a space that's
hard too.
Yeah, to fill. We've had some amazing people come along and lift a lot of boxes and help us out that we bribed with pizza. Yeah. But we've finally found a new nest that we can have long term because we outgrew every space we were in.
I love that you can call where your home is the nest.
Yeah, it's our nest, and when we sign off our newsletter, it's from our nest to yours.
Aww,
and things, and in the little pack cards, it's from our nest to yours with love. So I think it gives it that
it's just beautiful
wraparound feeling, right? It's beautiful. So for us, it's making sure that we are there long term. Yeah. So like any charity, it's about preservation and being there. That if we've made a commitment to these midwives and social workers and everything else, that they know that we can deliver on what we've said. So making sure that we have enough of all of our supplies and that we have enough funding to pay our rent and everything else.
Yeah. And not that you're going anywhere, but there is an element of succession planning for these not-for-profits and charities as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
because it can become, larger than life, and you need to have more people involved.
Yeah, so we often talk about, we have an incredible national team who we're in touch with all the time, and they've done this for a long, long time, so they're very well versed in how to, sign up volunteers and what happens next. And luckily Laura's not going anywhere either. She's not allowed to. And I think now that we're sort of starting to cement, things like we do a annual fundraiser quiz, and people are starting to sort of know who we are, because even building that recognition in the community has taken a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's just going, how can we have this? We're only ever custodians of what we're doing, and how do we keep that so that if or when we ever needed to pass that on to someone else, that they were in a place to continue.
Quiz nights and bingo, man, it's just all the rage again. It's the 1980s.
I love, I wrote our quiz and everything. I love it.
And do we call it bingo or do we call it housey?
No, it's bingo.
It's bingo?
It's bingo.
Okay, because you have visions of housey, don't you?
Yeah.
The 1980s with our grandparents.
Yeah.
Heading down to housey.
Respectfully, that can stay there, I think, with the perms and everything else.
And the ciggies and everything.
Yeah. No smoking inside for these ones.
No. But they really are having quite a resurgence, and they are significant opportunity to raise your profile, raise money.
Yep.
And I've discovered, I always thought I hated them, I actually am having fun at these quiz nights.
That's the thing, right? Like everyone, if you're asking people to donate, my whole thing is always like, we need to give you something in return.
A good time. And
we had a great time at our quiz recently. Like I say, I wrote it and quiz mastered it, and I think all the answers were right. So
well done.
That's good.
That's awesome.
But we had incredible raffle prizes, and I'm very grateful to Shelley Duncan and the team at the golf club, the Otago Golf Club, for hosting us. And
brilliant.
Yeah, we had a great time up there.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing the community venues recognise that it's a great thing to do, and also raises their profile.
Yeah.
We get to have some cheese boards.
We had some nibbles, a couple of wee drinks. Everyone had a great time.
Yeah.
Wooden spoon prizes and first prizes,
I thought I'd be down the bottom, but I was in the middle.
Hey, that's not bad.
Fantastic.
Yeah. No, we were very well supported with that too, so huge gratitude to the businesses here that came to the party too, just amazingly generous in a time when a lot of businesses don't have the extra to do that either. So. And
do you think that will be a yearly event or monthly? How frequently are we going to go?
We've done it yearly so far.
Yep.
And it generated us about $2,600, which is every year, which is a huge amount for us.
Yeah.
Just on the statistics side, I suppose, which we talked about at our quiz, we've done 37 packs so far, which doesn't necessarily sound enormous.
No,
but it's over 5,500 items and a retail value of nearly $50,000 and an actual cost of somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000.
Oh, and it's maybe 37 families. Well, there might be some twins or triplets in there. I don't know.
We haven't had any multiples yet. No, we have, so 37 families,
that have benefited greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with, like we said at the quiz, your quiz team entry pays for a sleep sack for a little baby to be warm at night and things like that. And I think when you can put that against it, people are...
Qualify it.
Yeah. People go, oh, that's what I'm... And it's a good way to get them to spend more money on raffles. So.
Exactly. Those raffles. And the later you wait, the more they've had to drink, unfortunately, and then they buy more raffles.
Yeah, they know we did 4 rounds of amazing prizes. So,
So that's a great event. But in the calendar in Dunedin, let's talk a bit more about Dunedin.
Yeah.
What's another event that's in your calendar every year? You've got a wee 3-year-old, so it might be something more family orientated.
It has become a lot more family orientated, although I'm looking forward to seeing Lime Cordiale soon for a night out.
Okay.
Sam's 3-year-old.
Excellent.
Because I do love a bit of live music.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just always try and make the most of anything that comes on the calendar. I know what it's like running events and how important it is to support them and find opportunities to support that and get on board with it. Because if you don't, they won't come
keep
back.
coming. No.
Yeah, I hear a rumour too that the museum has a big Lego exhibition coming. So I thought, so I'm looking forward to that.
3-year-old will be right at the front of that queue.
Yeah, as long as she's not touching it, we're fine. Yeah. So, even for her though, we try and do like our own wee itineraries and just explore.
Oh, that's cute.
Wherever we can and try and make the most of all the things that we have here, because we've got some great things here in Dunedin.
We do.
Cultural experiences.
You're being very good in not singling anybody out, which
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate. I know it's hard sometimes.
It is, yeah, but I mean, everyone's doing a great job, aren't they?
They
But,
are.
you know.
What about family-friendly places? Sometimes we need a wee reminder that, there's certain facilities that we need as mums, especially with young kids.
Yeah.
What have you discovered that's particularly helpful in that way?
Oh, great question. I know back when she was really little, I was quite blown away by actually the family rooms in the malls that we have and how good they are.
Yeah,
I know there was
to have them.
a couple of nappy blowouts and things like that where we've had to make an emergency pit stop.
Tsunamis.
Yeah.
In the middle of the mall.
Yeah, every parent knows, and you're like, oh, great, here we go.
Yeah.
But I think, much like our point before, everyone in Dunedin, I find that super welcoming for wee people and accommodating for them. You don't feel like you can't take them anywhere. I mean, we're huge fans of the museum, Tahura, and the butterflies, and we love that facility for her. So and now they're partnered with the precinct. So yeah, I love that too because their coffee's great. Yeah. So we're down there, and Orokonui's the same, and things like. There's some really awesome facilities here that are very good at catering for all ages. Yeah, because sometimes as parents too, you want to get something out of it as well.
Totally.
Learn something, see something, do something.
Yeah, it shouldn't always be about the kids.
No, as much as watching them, run around and play is great.
Yeah.
Actually, special mention to the new Botanic Gardens playground too.
Oh, is it opened?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, we
brilliant.
went yesterday. Yeah,
Okay.
along with half the kids in Dunedin, I think. But it's awesome.
Rating out of 5?
I give it a 4.
Yeah.
I think a couple more picnic tables and
Right.
a couple more rubbish bins DCC would be good.
Okay. Yeah, that's really
If we're picking, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a water feature? Because, of course, fond memories, the whale, St Kilda. There's no water feature, is there?
No, there's not there.
Although there is
no.
the duck pond, but you don't probably want to go in there as a water feature.
No,
Teenagers might.
Yeah, like, I'm sure a few students have in their time. Not me, personally.
I have.
Yeah, I know some people have. Yeah. I'm like, oh, no.
Logan Park. Oh,
You'd be getting a bit itchy after being in there, I'd say.
Yeah. No, not pleasant.
But, yeah, I think some more playgrounds would be, that are, especially coming from Timaru, where they've got that beautiful new community-funded playground.
Right,
it's
that one.
outstanding. So something like that here, or a couple of those here, would be great.
Yeah, I think there was some talk about something similar to the Margaret Mahi one, wasn't there, at one point?
Yeah, because that Timaru one's bigger than that one, believe it or not.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah, Ōtepoti could do with catching up on that one, I think.
True.
Yeah.
Hey, a question that we ask participants is around who you would like to share an Ocho hot chocolate or orange juice or a Spates or something like that, trying to look for some Dunedin brands, but they're a bit of a legend. Perhaps they've passed away or they might still be here, but that might just be a really fascinating cup of coffee for you to share.
I was thinking about this just in general, but I went through an exhibition recently about Agnes Hellenstein and the Hellenstein family, and they had shared some amazing sort of collections and was very worldly for her time. And I just think I'm so fascinated by women who did that in a time when that perhaps wasn't
back in the day,
as well considered as it is now. And I think talking to women like that, or like the Larnack family or the family from Ulverston, just
Have you been walking through the walls of the Dunedin Club recently and looked at all the family names and gone, actually, that would be a really
I've never
one.
ever been there, actually.
Really?
No, I've never, But I think, I read about Agnes at the museum, so special mention to them.
Yeah. So what was her particular role? You'll have to, because I'm not as worldly.
So she is from Hellenstein's family, and she had curated this collection of artifacts from around the world and things like that, and I just thought,
wow, what was travelling like back then?
Just tell me all about the logistics of that, it's even,
were you even allowed to travel, or were you down in the
like
luggage
how annoying
area?
was the skirt, like were you hitching it up, like what did you get your ankles out, like what was happening, but also too seriously, like what was that like, because it's not like it is for us now. We can look at anything, any artifact, any Google Earth. It must have been just fascinating to arrive somewhere
and not know what you were going to see, and then seeing it, and then being able to share that in some way. She had to bring those things back to be able to share them. She couldn't just snap a picture with her mobile phone.
No. She can write about it, sketch some drawings. So I think definitely her, or any of those sort of historic figures from that time.
I love that. That's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's funny, yesterday we had somebody who also talked about a woman from the 1800s that she'd really love to sit down and talk with.
I think maybe it's a thing for other women, right, where we go, you know, it's so far away from what they were going through.
Yeah.
In some ways. In some ways.
I know.
You know, we all know. But
we haven't come as far as we'd like to yet, have we?
And I think also fast at Nest, like maybe even the early Karatane nurses as well. Like I'd love to know more about. I'm a big Call the Midwife girl, so I think.
Yeah. Well, back in those days, I mean, we weren't allowed to get out of bed for 6 days after having a baby. And
must be nice.
I was up moving furniture after my C-section 5 hours later. So,
they're like, well, you know,
we were treated like patients in heavy need. So,
I know.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. But no, I think you're right. In some ways, that rest would have been quite good.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be quite peaceful, actually, having someone. But I always think it'd be awesome to compare and contrast, right? And I think our lives would blow their mind too. So
yeah, I agree.
There'd be plenty to talk about.
It would be. Add some wine and it'll be there for a few hours.
I'd say so.
Chelsea, just to wrap up, a last question. If you had the power to make a change or a difference for our community, maybe it's involved with what you're doing or something completely different, we'll put the playgrounds to one side because that's a common need.
Yeah.
What would you like to be able to change?
I think from a Nest perspective, I think midwives are incredible, but there is such a shortage, and I'd love to make that easier for people to access that care or have that support. I think someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's only 8 or 9 community midwives in Dunedin alongside the team at the Queen Mary Outreach Clinic. So it's just, I mean, anyone who's ever had a baby will know how crucial that support is. And so I think, for me, I think bringing that and that village back too. I notice a lot of people seem to lack their village and our lives are very busy and fast-paced, but remembering that actually we need to wrap these mamas and babies up.
That blows my mind. With love. When I had Taylor 17 years ago, there was just so much choice. Yeah. So that could be a COVID impact, perhaps?
Yeah, and I think it's just, it's a hard one to get into and commit to. They do amazing work at all hours of the day and night, and, I can't imagine there's times where it's an easy role.
No. We talk about working with brides. Imagine working with mums in labour.
Yeah, and they're just out there doing just the most incredible work.
Yeah.
But I think bringing back that sense of village for me whānau is so important. There's a lot, like I say, with Valley 4 and our services and everything, amazing, but be nice to just
there's
remember
a collective
that
element to it.
We need to wrap these mums and babies up.
I love it.
And dads,
Thank you.
We love the dads too.
Finally, remind us where we can find information about the Nest Collective.
Sure, so you can find our Ōtepoti branch on Facebook, so we're at the Nest Collective Dunedin, and the same on Instagram. You can email us dunedin@thenestcollective.org.nz, or they can find the Nest Collective national site at thenestcollective.org.nz.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank
Lovely
you.
to chat.
So good to chat to you.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
Cheers.